Okay. My dad was my best friend. He was the one who truly understood me and was always there no matter how much trouble I was in. He was the one person I actually trusted and who loved me unconditionally. My dad always knew how to cheer me up and comfort me. If I were in any kind of trouble, he would never be mad. He just wanted to make sure I was okay. And I've been in a lot of trouble, so that happened quite often. He always looked out for Gabi and I, and did everything he could to keep us safe. My dad and I had a crazy-like relationship. We were so similar. It was kind of weird. We shared the same taste in music and style. He was so fashionable. And he had the best taste in music. He also took interest into tattooing with me and helped me design some of my tattoos, which really meant a lot to me. He never got the chance to get one, but we always talked about planning one and designing one. Actually, I think one of our last conversations was him yelling at me to help him design one. And I was like, later. But I had the great opportunity to live with my dad for almost a year. It was about like 2 months ago. He helped me get back on my feet onto the ground. He was really excited to have a roommate. Living with him had its ups and downs because I had trouble with rules. But we stuck through it and managed to make it work. When I was able to move out on my own, it was a bittersweet experience for the both of us. He called and texted me constantly, and it was just really sad that he was alone, and I felt really bad because I missed him too. He would always text or call saying how much he missed his roommate. I was the first person to truly live with him in over a decade. I'm truly grateful for the time we spent together, and I will never forget the memories we shared. He inspired me so much and was my role model. Now, I've never been one of those girls to think about marriage or children, but now that my dad is gone, I've been thinking about how he won't be there to walk me down the aisle or interrogate my future boyfriends or meet his grandchildren, and those thoughts break my heart. If my dad were here, he would probably be sweating by the window with his little portable fan, asking somebody to crack the window. But he would also be so incredibly proud of me and my sister for sticking together. And he would also be so thankful for my uncles for coming together and for supporting my sister and I, being there for us the whole step of the way, and kind of taking the role of being fatherly to us. It really means a lot to us, and I know it would to him. I'll never forget you, Dad, and I will always love you. Flashback to my bat mitzvah. I'm Gabi, and I'm the younger daughter. Trying to squeeze the 18-year relationship that I had with my father into a 5-minute, 3-page double-spaced speech is just not possible. Attempting to recap every precious memory that we shared together is almost too painful because I know that we can't make any new ones together now. I will never again be able to ride the Tilsner elevator 6 floors up and walk down the hallway and have my dad be there to scare me by jumping off from behind a door. Not that he ever succeeded, because as we all know, it was hard for Michael Bernstein to hide in small places. I wanted to share with everyone the relationship I shared with my dad, how he impacted my life so far, and how it will continue to do so for the rest of my life. My dad always said that he couldn't do the normal dad things, but to me, my dad was better than the normal dad. We didn't need to stick to the norm to connect. We connected through our ideas and our curiosity for life. Most of the time, we would just sit and talk for hours, and I would occasionally force him to get up and bring me snacks. He always told me that I was the girl with 2 brains, but really he was the one who knew it all. When I was younger, I was always so concerned with not having a special talent, and my dad always tried to console me by saying that it never really mattered. I heard a quote that I think my dad had been trying to put into words for 18 years. Albert Einstein once said, "I have no special talent. I am only passionately curious." My dad would tell me that he loved how curious I am about everything, and how I always have so many questions, and I know he loved that so much because it's exactly how he was. He was ferociously curious about the world, and everything in it, which made for a very well-rounded man. He enjoyed a vast amount of things, but my three favorites that we always did together were going to the opera, going grocery shopping, and going to the gun range. There was never really a dull moment with him. To me, my dad was my protector. He went above and beyond to keep Alex and I safe. Although there were some shenanigans that he couldn't keep us from, he never hesitated to help us with the aftermath. A couple years ago, a tenant living above us had an all-night party and kept our whole floor up. I had school the next day and couldn't get me sleep, so my dad and his friend decided to go upstairs and take matters into his own hands. On the elevator ride up, they both discussed having a civil conversation with the loud tenant. It started out as a calm interaction, but that's only because my dad had not spoken yet. Once he got a chance to open his mouth, all hopes of calmness were lost. "The next time you pull something like that, I'll crucify you!" We all stood there a little shocked and confused by his word choice. But nonetheless, we never had problems with that tenant again. My dad influenced a lot in my life, especially my taste in music. It was the second night of Hanukkah in 2001, and my dad gave me my very first CD. I don't know how many of you have heard of the Celtic rock band Black 47, but I was obsessed. He always prided himself in introducing me to the Celtic rock genre, and the rest of his wonderful taste in music. This included, but is not limited to, the Cranberries, the Pogues, Ella Fitzgerald, the Sugar Cubes, and Garbage. One of our favorite pastimes was cooking together, but most importantly, eating together. But most importantly, him cooking, me eating. The classic Michael meal consisted of steak, rice, spinach, and last but certainly not least, endless amounts of ice cream. My dad would do anything for ice cream. Saying it was his favorite food is an understatement. My chores consisted of vacuuming, doing the dishes, and driving to the grocery store to buy him a tub of fryers. The last few months I spent with my dad, we watched a lot of the comedian Jim Jeffries.